So today, we're going to talk about Apple, Microsoft, and Google, and what's the difference between them. Okay. Objectives. Decipher the difference between the most common computer, phone, and tablet operating systems. Mac OS versus Windows, iOS versus Androids. Decipher between the physical products these physical products these operating systems work on, establish what kind of usage each operating system and products is best suited for. What is the operating system? Operating system is the software that runs a computer, tablet, or phone basic functions. It is a software that computes the hardware of a device to create a functional and responsive piece of technology. The main players' computers. The two most prominent and common operating systems when it comes to computers, laptops, and desktops are Mac OS and Windows. Mac OS is an operating system developed and used exclusively by Apple. Windows is an operating system developed by by Microsoft, which could be found on basically any other type of personal computer besides Apple products. These are some of the companies: HP, Lenovo, I think it's called, Microsoft, Dell, and Acer. Mac OS versus Windows. Through the two operating systems offer the same functionalities, allowing you to access different applications and the internet. They look, feel, and work a little bit differently. So this is Mac OS and this is Mac OS and this is Windows. The differences: Mac OS design, softer edges, simpler, and a monochromatic look. Navigation: Mac OS is best recognized for its dock system. Files Finder is used by Mac OS. It's not too different from File Explorer. Integration: better integrated with other devices, if you say within the Apple family. Security: generally seen as safer as Apple has full control of both hardware and software, meaning easier implementation of newer security features. The differences: Windows design, squares off edges, clean cut, and lots of blue, but also more customizable. Navigation: the start menu is the main fixture of Windows navigation. Files Explorer, similar functionalities to Finder. Integration only available through computers, so crossing between devices is not as seamless. For a fee, Windows could be integrated with desktop, laptops, tablets, and phones through a Microsoft 365 subscription and OneDrive. Security: gaps between hardware and software could leave more room for error. Extra antivirus is a must with Windows. Windows computers come with an extra security protection that could be enabled easily through Windows Security. What each is better for? Mac OS. Many people prefer Mac OS for its simple design, which makes it easier for a lot of people to navigate. Those in creative fields lean more heavily towards Mac, as it is better suited for a lot of creative software used for video, photo, editing, and design. Operating systems integration across Apple products also means they are for people who move around a lot and switch between devices. What what each is better for Windows. Windows has more customization, particularly, particularly in terms of appearance. It runs on basically any computer that is not Apple, meaning there is more devices, more options for your actual physical device. Windows is particularly suited for gaming with Office suite, I think, suite being Microsoft built. It may also be argued that Windows is best suited for those looking to use the computer for more practical purposes. The hardware, Mac. When it comes to hardware, Mac OS only operates on 3 devices. MacBook Air, one of the app, one of the Apple two, one of the Apple's 2 laptops options. MacBook Airs are super small and portable. They are not as powerful as other Mac products, making them best suited for casual computer users. MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro is Apple's more powerful laptop option. It comes in 2 physical sizes and multiple RAM sizes. This is best for people using more software, but who still have to be portable. iMac. The iMac is Apple's only desktop computer. It comes in 2 physical sizes. It is best for at-home use, but also good for heavy duty use. It is especially favored among creatives using powerful softwares for things like sound, photos, and video editing. These are the looks of the laptops. The hardware, PCs. When it comes to hardware, there are basically endless options if you want to use the Windows operating system. All of the following computer brands run their devices on Windows: Microsoft, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Acer, Asus, MSI, and Samsung. These are
I found this on the web for Jesus MSI.
These are the looks of the laptops. And overview. Computers, the best way to describe the difference between a Mac and a PC is that they are 2 different ways of thinking. Macs are seen as trendier and cooler, whereas Windows computers are seen as more by the books and square, which is just a matter of how they have marketed themselves to attract different user bases. In reality, if you are using a computer to simply access the internet, whether a Mac or Windows computer will be able to do just the same. The difference really comes down to preferences and for the look and for the feel of each product. The main players, phones and tablets. Just like computers, there are basically only 2 competitors for OS. When it comes to phones and tablets, and they are iOS, Apple again, and Android, Google. So iOS is the operating system developed and used exclusively by Apple for iPhone and iPads. Android is an operating system developed by Google, which could be found on basically any other type of phone or tablet. Google, Samsung, LG, Motorola, and Nokia. iOS versus Android. As with computers, the 2 operating systems offer the same functionalities, allowing you to use your device for calls and messages, as well as giving you access to different applications and the internet, but they feel and work a bit differently. As you can see right here, it has a different look. This is iOS and this is Android. The difference is iOS closed system. The interference will look and work the same across all iOS devices. eStore iOS uses the Apple App Store, which will mostly the same, but some different apps than Apple than the Apple Play Store. Um, Integration, if you stick with Apple for your other devices, integration across them is seamless using your Apple ID. Which this means is if you have reminders, notes in your iPhone, it will pass on to your laptop through your Apple iCloud. And voice assistant, Siri is what is available on iOS, and it is a less powerful than its counterpart. Okay. Android open systems. Android is an open source, so different products could adjust it to fix their hardware. So it might look different on Samsung than a Google phone. eStore app Android uses the Google Play Store, which will mostly which is the same but has different apps than the Apple Store. Integration will with your other devices has to happen through some sort of cloud storage program like Google Drive or OneDrive, which is kind of more complicated than Apple's integration system. Voice assistant, Android uses Google Assistant, which is more powerful than Siri. Which is better? Making a choice between these really comes down to integration, especially among Apple products. iCloud makes it easier to connect to your other devices, and iMessages and FaceTime offers easy communication between you and other Apple users. There is no equivalent for iMessage on Android, but there is Google Duo, which is comparable to FaceTime. The physical device, for many, the OS plays less a part in their buying decision with phones and tablets than does the physical product. The camera, many devices are in constant race to have the best camera. The hardware, iPhone and iPad. When it comes to hardware, iOS only operates on two devices, on iPhones and on iPads. The hardware, Samsung, Google, LG, etc. When it comes to hardware, there are basically endless options. If you are looking for a Android, all of the following brands run through phones and tablets on Android. Google, Samsung, LG, Motorola, Nokia, and Lenovo. The hardware, so this is how the products look. As you can see here, the Google Pixel looks different than the Lenovo OS, and Samsung looks different. Overview, many people who are Apple users prefer to stay within their lane when it comes to their phones and tablets. But when it comes to phone and tablets, for many, the physical device is more important than the operating system. The strongest competition between these devices comes down to their camera quality and who's at top and who could charge the longest. Well, who has more battery? I like that. Right now the standing are iPhone, Samsung Galaxy, and the Google Pixel, which are pretty comparable. And this is a live demo. And thank you for listening. If you'd like to learn this lesson with the Cyber Senior mentor, please go to www.cyberseniors.org or call 144-217 3057 to register for a one-on-one phone session. And we also host weekly tech drop-in sessions from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays.